Live.
Write it, Joel, write it.
We are very resilient. These guys, they had some adversity early in the season, and they had to make a decision. They could have went a different way, and this season would not have been. We wouldn't be standing here. So very grateful and thankful that those guys have stuck it out. They've come close together. I know a lot of them personally, and I'm just so happy to see them do well.
Who are you close with on the team?
Jeremiah Love, Xavier Watts. There's a freshman who's from my hometown, Tate Johnson. That's my brother. JD, a few guys are very, very, very close with, and they hit me up, ask a lot of questions. But these guys are carrying the torch now, and I'm excited to go see them dominate.
Jeremiah Love is a really special talent, a special running back. How do you describe how he plays?
He's electric. He's a guy that's the first in, the last out. He's a guy that is a game changer. Those game changers, you need them to be successful.
That was quite a hurdle by him.
Man, like game changers, we have the game changers are the guys that go out and become Notre Dame legends. So I'm just thankful for his performance, but also for his attitude. He loves his teammates. He always applauds his O-line, and just thankful to see him work. I can't wait to see what he does tonight.
Hey, welcome to the Cowboys Uncovered. We got a special college football playoff edition for y'all. We're going to be breaking down 4, 5, maybe 6 different rookies in this upcoming class that are going to be in the college playoff games this weekend, starting tonight, Notre Dame versus Penn State, man. Hey, Joe's flexing that Notre Dame. We got a brother that went there. What's going on, fellas?
That's good. Ready for some college football now that the Cowboys season's officially done. Really turning towards the playoffs here.
I want to say up top too that a lot of these players that we're looking at in the draft are fan generated. Do you guys have anybody that you want us to see break down? Anybody that you want more opinions on? Put them in the chat. Hit us up on Twitter, on X, everything that you know. That's how we got this list started in the first place from Cowboys fans.
Absolutely. And we see it every year. People are kind of hyped up when you talk about even fan generated. I was also thinking like just a hype machine. People think Marvin Harrison's the number one guy, and then it might be someone else. So we want to go deep too. If you got someone that we're sleeping on, let us know. We're going to start with a review of this 2024 season with the Cowboys. We just ended a game against the Washington Commanders. They're going on to the playoffs. Eagles are going to the playoffs. We're not. It's been a crazy flip to see the Washington team rise out of the just poverty franchise they used to be with, whatever name you want to call it, new owner, and they, who this, they got a really good bounce back season for them, and it's going to be more split games in future seasons. Really competitive, but I think our season really just comes down to the injuries, because we showed a lot of fight towards the end of that season where we know we've got talent, and Dave's pointed out with some of the roster guys that we may or may not come back. So that's really what the focus is going forward, but still a lot to talk about in this last season, man. So what are some of y'all's thoughts about this 2024 season, good, bad, and different, and some of the current stuff that's going on in news too?
Yeah, well, let's just put a bow on the season, right? Cowboys finished the season at 7-10. Mark McCarthy's second losing season with the Cowboys. His first season was the first losing season. Maybe the last season will be also a losing season. That's TBD. But the Commanders beat us 23-19, as it turns out, and that was kind of a last-second drive that the Commanders scored on there. The Cowboys sort of were playing really tough, a lot of pride there, and just kind of gave it up there at the end, which, it's kind of whatever, right? So we know we're going to get a better draft pick, but it'd be cool to beat the Commanders as well, right? I know that we're all kind of feeling the same way about that one, and turns out we got the number 12 pick overall.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about how the season started, right? Cowboys didn't make hardly any moves in the offseason. I guess we could start there. Took
Mistake.
to the 11th hour to sign Dak Prescott.
Mistake.
Yeah, well, I wanted to say one quick thing about the game before we move on from the game is that there was a point where we were at 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter, and if Mike McCarthy wanted to go out with a bang, he could have easily gone for it on the 4th and 1, especially with Trey Lance in the game. Could have run a running play, but they decided to punt it, and I believe that was the drive the Commanders ended up going back down the field and winning the game. So, you know, for fans of the draft and for moving forward, that was a win, I guess you could say there. But for McCarthy, maybe if he wanted to keep this job, he should have shown that he could beat this Commanders team twice. A sweep of them would have been something to smile about in the offseason for him. But I don't know how that's going to go. We'll get more into the coaching stuff later. But yeah, it does start at the very beginning, Joe, if you want to recap.
I will say, just to piggyback off that, Dave, I think Aubrey had a shot for a long field goal. That would have been, I know we were all talking about that. Maybe he can get a record field goal, another 60-plus yard. He was kind of in line for that as well, kind of in the, just beyond the 50 or around the 50. Anyway, just like you mentioned, started with a terrible offseason. Mike McCarthy coming into the season, lame duck coaching year. His contract expires on January 14th, so that's 5 days from now. Cowboys Nation. So we're kind of just wait and see mode. I know that the Bears were just denied access to interview Coach McCarthy. Not sure what that really means. I know the Cowboys are in their, sort of recapping mode, kind of like we're doing here. We're recapping the season. But yeah, it started with the terrible offseason, and now we kind of saw that during the year. We lost a ton of free agents. We didn't fill those holes like we probably should have. And you kind of saw that at the, throughout the season. Dak was playing, Micah Parsons was playing, D-Law was playing. We beat the Browns, right? After that, it was kind of downhill from there. If I'm going to be honest, Dak Prescott wasn't playing well. We got just completely destroyed by the Saints, and that kind of let us know, like, wow, this ain't that same roster from last year that won 12 games and won the East.
Yeah, that was a tough beginning to the season. And you look at how it eventually evolved. Obviously, the loss to Prescott, but it did, like you said. I mean, if don't kid yourselves, this team was headed down before Dak Prescott got injured. I wonder what it would have looked like. I do have some stats on the overall season. I don't know if you wanted to continue though, Joe, but some things I wanted to touch on were the bad categories and good categories. If you look at it, kind of giving them some grades. Bad categories. The offense was 27th in turnovers, 26th in total rushing, 32nd in rushing TDs with only 6 rushing touchdowns on the year. 28th in penalties on offense, 28th, 31st in penalties on defense. So only bested by our defense. So those are things that
red zone as well. I think we're the worst in the red zone.
We didn't have our running game going at all, and the discipline was god awful. And those two things are, who do you want to blame it on, right? The coaches, the players, the scheme. But at the end of the day, everyone pitched in to have a bad season this year. There were some highlights. Obviously, Aubrey was a megastar. We had the second in field goals made. We had the longest field goal made. We had the only team with a punt return and kick return for touchdown, 2 kick returns for touchdown.
Let's talk about that. Hey, real quick, let's give a little shout out to KaVontae Turpin. I think he the shot of the week. I'll take a shot to Turpin there.
Let's do a quick shot of the week. So Turpin, he makes all pro. So check this out real quick.
Incredible.
What's up, Ultra Cowboy?
Ultra Cowboy, some interesting thoughts. We certainly want to go through the coaching carousel. I don't know if we want to jump to that now. I think.
Well, real quick, we can just finish giving Turpin some love here.
Sure.
So, like you said, made the All-Pro list, and shout out to him, man. I don't know if you took your shot yet, but hey, cheers to Turpin, man.
Very happy for him.
2 good years in a row for him. Pro Bowl last year, All Pro this year. It's awesome, man.
And that was the players All-Pro, the official All-Pro, NFL media, voted and everything's going to come out later. But this is the one that really matters to me. If you're going to, we're talking about peer reviews here,
It's incredible. And he only had to do this to start getting the ball a little bit more on offense. We talked about this early in the season. He's not a great route runner. You don't want to throw him intermediate routes. There were some really bad efforts at that in the first month of the season or so, but they figured out how to get the ball in his hands late in the season. The jet sweep just works with this guy. And then giving the ball up the middle past 2 games was an interesting strategy that seemed to get some results. So Turpin needs to be re-signed ASAP. He's currently a free agent. And I don't doubt that they'll bring him back.
Yeah, we saw there towards the end that Zeke kind of saw the writing on the wall when Turpin's getting more carries than Zeke, and he's like, yeah, well, enough of this. Let me go get the ball somewhere.
But he had some plays where he kind of ignited the whole team. Like,
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
It's huge because you think about you're getting the ball after the team scores most of the time on these kickoffs. And to have 2 of those, and he had many where he got to the 40-yard line, 45, 50-yard line. And that does energize the team, absolutely, especially with the team has a lot of leaders that are hurt or on the sideline. Have a guy like that on the field with so much energy. And he always seemed to pop up like he was pissed off he didn't get an extra couple yards. He did that every single time he had the ball in his hands. Earned himself a players All-Pro, which is pretty sweet. I bet he'll be All-Pro from the press also.
Guess what? I think some of that had to do with, besides the fact that Cowboys red zone struggles, but Turpin put us in some solid field position to start those drives quite a few times, whether it be punts or kick returns. And, Aubrey got to eat because of
combo,
that.
Right? You don't even need much offense. Just get it to the 50 with Turpin, go 10 more yards, kick a field goal.
All right, so enough love for Turpin. Fast guy, gotta have him back, man. We could use it, but
standings here.
We got it. What's that?
Final standings we're looking at here. We didn't finish last, so
there's
that.
Yeah, good push at the end. I think my prediction for next year, we get 11 wins. Now that we got a little extra competition from Washington, I'm not just going to jump back to say 12-5, but who knows? I just love that we were leading the league multiple years in offense. So I can see us getting back there, and it just depends on who's the leader going to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had some respectable category finishes on offense, but it's a little skewed because there's a lot of garbage time in some of those games, big chunk plays at the end. But some respectable numbers that you might not have thought would be there without Dak Prescott all year.
Yeah,
but with no running game, I think it was. I mean, don't kid yourself, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. We basically had a team that overperformed for how bad things went, and because it's a lame duck season, the coach has no chance because if you're in a lame duck season, you have to win that year.
Yeah,
I think you're right. Regardless of the injuries, even though there were just a shit ton of injuries for the Cowboys, wow.
He had 5 years to do what Garrett couldn't do, right? That was his mandate was, hey, take us over the hump, get us that Super Bowl. That's a lot of why he came in was because he had the playoff experience, and he didn't get it done in 5 years. I think for that reason alone, you can't bring him back. I understand the want to bring him back. There was a lot of things that, there was enough things that he did well that he did get a coaching request from the Bears for whatever that's worth, but he had 5 years to do it and couldn't do it. I think you have to move on.
Yeah.
His chance was last year, to be honest, and to be quite honest, he shot the bed against his former team in her own house, where he won a Super Bowl. And he keeps saying, "Oh, I won a Super Bowl in this building." Dude, you couldn't win a playoff game against your former team in this building. Like, come on.
Yeah, man, and he had receivers with his Green Bay teams. I know later years, Rodgers only had like a one guy, and they wouldn't draft, number one guys in the draft. But like for some reason, we only had Lamb most of his tenure. After Cooper was out of there, I like addressed something to add some explosion to the offense. Like we just didn't do enough. We became really good at defense, which was great after that one really historic bad year. But I don't know. We just didn't have enough to be difference makers, like in the playoffs. A lot of collapses in those playoffs, so that looked like bad discipline. So it's like even over a full 4-month season, if if you shit the bed at the end, there's just so much you can nitpick when you're trying to decide you want to have this guy and have another 5-year contract and have a Jason Garrett 10-year tenure.
Yeah, it was probably a dated offensive scheme. There were some modern wrinkles in it. You can't deny that some of the things he was doing would get his guy. I mean, he got the ball to Lamb over 1,000 yards with Cooper Rush. So they had some things working, some things that other teams could not stop, mainly CeeDee Lamb. But the tight ends completely disappeared. Obviously, the running game was bad, and anything down the middle of the field just didn't seem to yield points. It was quick stuff on the outside, or CeeDee Lamb on a slant. Those were the big plays. Gone were the days. I mean, Dak Prescott wasn't throwing the ball; it was Cooper Rush. So it's much different offense. If you want to, Alex was showing some of the stuff that I had put together. This is just screenshots from ESPN's. What have these teams done? Now, the Bears here. You talk about what the Cowboys can do. Well, this is what they could have done if they had fired McCarthy before, like the Eagles game. So the Bears fired their coach mid-season or towards the very end of the season. They wanted to get an edge on the coaching search. They want to have their coach be a difference maker for their franchise. So they're turning over every rock. They started early. They got a head start on everyone.
They started early because they fired the coach first, right?
Exactly. They took it very seriously. This job search. Look at all these people on here. McCarthy's the only one denied. There's a couple completeds on there. There's schedules and all these interview requests. So that's a team that folded early. They fired early. Now, if you want to go to the next one, Alex, I had the Jags. The Jags are one of the teams that they fired Doug Peterson on Black Monday. So now they didn't get a head start on anyone, but they started at the proper time, which was the following Monday. They didn't wait 7 days for a contract to expire or whatever Jerry's doing. But look at all these requests they have. Now, they haven't really gotten anything done because they just started on Monday. They didn't start a week ago. But, I mean, this is how far behind we are. There's about 20 requests in. These are two teams that also they haven't been as aggressive, but they also fired people on Monday, I believe. Both of these were on Monday. So this is how far behind you are. It's like 25, 30 interviews done in this league before Jerry's going to get to his first one. That's kind of what's happening right now. So does that mean Jerry knows exactly what he's going to do and that it's Mike McCarthy? Maybe. But is Jerry posturing? 100% Jerry's posturing. For some reason, he doesn't have the extra money to pay whatever it takes. He says he'll write a check every year. He says, I'll write a check to win the Super Bowl. Well, here's your chance. Do you know who the right guy is? It's tough to tell, but they're not doing it as they should be if they want to be aggressive and have a difference maker at head coach.
Just like the draft, this coaching carousel is kind of loaded. I mean, look at the names on there. I mean, even I don't know. You could do better or worse than Kellen Moore. I mean, I wouldn't mind an interview at least, and. You know,
I love a lot of those guys.
Aaron Glenn would be very interesting. Ben Johnson, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I would love either of those guys to come in and see what they can do.
Bring him in for an interview. You know, you don't have a chance if you don't bring him in. And Jerry's such a good closer. One of the things that he does well is he puts ink to paper to keep guys in the building, but they have to be here. They can't be interviewing currently for another team. Obviously, you don't have a chance while Aaron Glenn's going everywhere to get interviews. So is Ben Johnson. By the way, this is the week that the Lions have a bye week. So it might be the best time to go interview a guy like Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn. So maybe they decline and maybe they get a few of these done now. And then next week, they're just too busy. They don't want to squeeze one in for Jerry. You know, so
not a distraction right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course, Jerry maybe doesn't want the label of firing McCarthy, so he's just going to naturally let it happen, like kind of expire and see ya. Like once his contract expires, I don't think he's allowed in the building. So we'll just see how that plays out over the next 5 days. Well, we should have an answer in a week from now in terms of whether Mike McCarthy is going to be back or not. So this is going to be exciting. Contract expiring is going to be an exciting week, Cowboys fans. Hopefully.
So we got a bunch of comments popping off. It's
shout
very
out Dallas. What's going on, man?
It's time to really eulogize these Cowboys, but we got to move on. We have some exciting things coming for you guys over the next couple months. We're gearing up towards the Combine. The Combine is February 27th. We want to get as much content as we can between now and then to prep for what we're going to see from these measurables. Cowboys have a legit pick. Number 12 is going to get a good player, and it's worth a lot if we end up trading back. So I'm open to both options. We're going to break some guys down here today. What else do we need to talk about before we get to some of these young
Joe,
guns?
Yeah. I brought this up. Yeah. So Cowboys have had 3 number 12 picks in franchise history. 2 of those are Super Bowl winners. The other guy got released before the 92 Super Bowl team got that dub, but Micah Parsons was one of them, Alvin Harper the other, and a guy named Danny Noonan who went to the Packers that 92 season. But I would say we hit on 2 of those 3, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Pretty big.
It's a good omen. It's a good omen, man. I'm not
12 is his
worried
sweet
about
spot.
her.
12
I'm
is
not worried
good.
about it. Like, Dave,
Solid.
how many solid picks did you say we have at this spot? Blue chip potential.
So in the first round, in general, I've seen most people have around 12 to 20 guys that are first round worthy, guys that you would just stand there and pick. If you want to trade back, I think you can still get a guy with a first round grade if you get down to about pick 18, 19, 20. Just kind of depends on what happens. So that alone, knowing that we can go back 5, 6 picks and still get a really good player and maybe get that 4th back or get a 3rd back, depending on how desperate someone is. That's all well and good, but we've also got some great players we can pick right at 12. I can't wait to see how it plays out. I think there's going to be some trading in this draft. There's enough good players in the top 50, 60 that there's going to be some people trying to double up in the second round, maybe even trying to move up into the first round again. There's a lot of good players.
Yeah, and guys, if you haven't checked out the last few episodes, we've been breaking down some players over the last couple, about 5 per episode. And a lot of them were in that range that you see on the big board here. But today we're going to be focusing on some of the players that are in this college football playoff that's going to be popping off in about 30 minutes, man.
Yes, sir.
So we're definitely going to get out of here so everybody can watch. But we got some time. So let's go ahead and dive in because
real quick, you think Micah and Zach Martin have a bet going right now?
Oh,
like, okay, if Penn State wins, then you can't retire or something like that.
That's fun. Maybe, possibly. I'm sure they're watching it somewhere.
Anyway, I digress. Go for it, Alex. Let's hop in this.
Here they are. So Nicholas Singleton, Xavier Watts, Jahdae Barron, and Quinshon Judkins. And we got a bonus guy here for you. Let's go ahead and start with we'll go ahead and start with Xavier Watts. And Xavier Watts, man. So you can see here, 16th. He's down there a little bit. Okay. In PFF grade. Not all of these guys are eligible for the draft, but honestly, it's kind of a deep safety class. These are very high grades. If you were to compare to some other years, I mean, there's a lot of talent, which one of the things we were talking about in the previous episode was there's no chance we're going to go safety. We did a poll amongst Cowboys fans. Safety was not a position that was selected. So this may be someone that we're looking for in that second round because we've been getting through this first round pretty good. And we were trying to decide on a trade for this next mock draft. And, we kind of want a second pick in the second round, maybe a third rounder. We'll see what we can pull off. So this might be a potential target for us in that range. But 42 total tackles. He had 6 interceptions, 8 passes defended this year. The previous year, that's when he kind of came on and broke out a little bit for Notre Dame. This guy, he's currently the winner of the consensus All-American, but last year it was the Bronco Nagurski Award for the best defensive player. This guy's putting up some numbers. I think, later round, I don't want to reach on this guy just because we're highlighting him, but there's just a couple guys from this school that we want to highlight. So let me know what you guys are thinking about Xavier Watts here.
I'll jump in first, Joe, here. Looking at Xavier Watts, he's 6 foot, 203. They're projecting he's going to run about a 4.49 or so. So, in my opinion, doesn't have flashy skills. But what happens when you watch this guy's highlights? Now, I didn't see every play he played, but if you watch his highlights, what you end up seeing is that he's got A+ awareness. He's got his head on a swivel. He knows where the ball is, and when it ends up out of someone's hands or it's tipped up in the air, he's got it. He's got great skills to snatch the ball out of the air and off the ground on the run. Saw a couple scoop and scores. His ability to kind of stay focused and look inward on the offense. Now, is someone going to get behind him when he becomes if he becomes an NFL starter? I think this guy could get picked on with some of these faster, bigger receivers. But if you can have him playing down in the box, I think he is an A-plus player in that aspect. He seems like he's leaning forward a lot. So what you get when you have a safety that leans forward a lot is one that might end up getting beat. He's looking to jump. He's always looking at the quarterback. I feel like that's not gonna play well for going one-on-one against some of these better wide receivers. But I think he's a great prospect. Do I want to take him at the top of the second? No, I don't really want to take him at the top of the second. I don't think anyone's going to trade up for this guy, so he may end up slipping a little bit. But I have all the respect for him. He's a thumper. Doesn't shy away from contact. Fun player to watch.
Yeah, I watched him quite a bit this season. One of my brothers went to Notre Dame. I've been to a few games in South Bend, so I watched that team second to the Longhorns, right? And we see here on film, this guy just has a high motor. Every snap is full speed for him. He's a run stopper from the safety position. Great ball skills from the safety position as well. Some of the negatives, Dave was kind of talking about this. Change in direction could be better. And then he can get overextended with speed there on the outside. So a couple of those negatives, but all these players coming out of the college are going to have something, right, that they're going to work on. NFL coaching should, help bridge that gap a little bit. I have him going late in the first, and a guy that, if you guys remember, probably do, Cowboys fans, being in the division, kind of a Landon Collins type. He was a, really physical, good ball skills, good coverage. He could, cover the slot, no big deal. So that's kind of what I see out of Watts there.
Yeah, if only all we needed was a safety.
I know, man. I know, but we wanted to show him some love. Only
He's
6
good.
foot, 203 pounds. Not like a massive freak of nature type, but he knows the game. He's pretty savvy, and he got kind of being in the right place at the right time in some spots. But you got to be able to execute, and he's been able to do that in some spots. Yeah, let's go ahead. All right. If y'all don't have anything else on him, I'll go ahead and move on to the next guy here. So,
Who are we looking at?
Let's start on the other side of the ball in that same matchup. And I got a lot of stuff on the screen here. Nicholas Singleton. Here we go. Let me know if y'all can see that.
Yeah.
Nicholas Singleton, running back, Penn State. They've got two guys that are pretty good. Okay, Katron Allen is the other guy. I don't know if Katron Allen's actually declaring in this next class, but this class is pretty loaded already, so that would be sick if they both declared. But one of the questions I have for some players that are on teams in the very next players is, how much does it hurt your draft stock to split the workload and not get these completely padded stats? But it could just be the way the league's going. But I'm curious if Katron Allen goes back to school just to give a chance to be the lead guy the whole season. But anyway, Nick Singleton, guy, I think a lot of people like Phil Zadalas, who's, kind of on the fantasy side too. We've been watching him for years, kind of took a step back last season. We were expecting a little bit more this year. Katron Allen coming in there is kind of eating into the workload a bit. I can pull it up here, and you can see his PFF grade has been getting better. This right now is his best season, but last year kind of took a step back. Year before was great. So, this is a guy 6 foot 27 pounds. I think that's prototypical running back size.
That was my number one note.
Yeah.
Big boy.
Yeah.
I don't want to take the ball from you here, Alex, but I Googled it. I Googled 40 times. Now, these are not official, but I Googled a 40 time for everybody. I'm looking forward again. February 27th, we're going to get our combine numbers. But you can bet Singleton's going to want to put this on tape if it's true. He said he's got a 4.33, and a coach said he's got a 4.35.
Oh, God.
If he's running sub 4.4 at 227,
that's
6'1",
Jonathan Taylor like.
You're looking at a guy I mean, the upside is huge. Now, what I saw was that he doesn't run away from people on the highlight films that I watch. So I wonder how true that time is. But he does a lot of things well. He kind of was showcasing that Penn State offense doing everything. Shows a lot of patience. A lot of runs where he was kind of at the line, waited a beat, and was able to get around and find an open edge. He also was a factor in their return game. But I wasn't quite sure what his best trait was. I guess the thing that he does best is he's a big boy, and if he can run a 4.33, he's going to be a borderline. I mean, he's not going to go in the first round probably. There's so many good backs, but I mean, the team would be happy to have him. I mean, whoever gets this guy is probably getting a monster. But yeah, he did split time, so it's kind of hard to tell exactly what's going to happen with this guy.
Yeah, what are you going to add?
Yeah, I would just add power, vision, feet always moving, and great hands out of the backfield. And you mentioned it, Dave. Can return kickoffs. He had a kickoff return for TD. Helped out his team with field position, all that stuff. And he does actually have some pretty solid top end speed from what I've read and what I've saw. Another reason why I like this guy is he shares a birthday with me, January 6th. He just turned
Happy
21.
Birthday.
Yeah, so shout out, so to Singleton, and I will say, well, the one big knock on him is he's pretty bad at pass blocking, and that's something that a lot of these backs coming out of college, need to work on for the most part. And so that's one of the knocks. I would say types that he would kind of look like to me. Remember David Johnson, kind of that kind of type, maybe a Breece Hall.
Yeah, interesting. I certainly think he'll have a career. He's got the traits. But yeah, these back splitting times really takes away from their overall skill set, including things like pass blocking. So that'll be big on at the next level. You can't get away with being a 2-down back. You have to be incredibly good to do that. So
have him going mid-second probably.
Yeah, dude, I'm so excited for this class. That's why I'm not too worried about not having that fourth, because I think we're definitely getting our running back in the first 2 rounds. I think it's going to happen, and I will remember to get these highlights up a little bit sooner. But Penn State, I don't want to move away from this game just yet, because super secret bonus guy Jeremiah Love. Just wanted to put these stats out here one more time. We did show a clip from him earlier in the show. Y'all can go back to the beginning where Jalen Smith was hyping him up, saying how this guy's explosive and a leader. And I think he is a guy who kind of like Turpin can ignite an offense. And, I think he's got some pass catching ability as well. But we will move on from him, and we're going to go and switch over to the game for tomorrow. Texas is going up against Ohio State, who is favored 5.5 right now. And we're going to start with Quinshon Judkins, running back. You're going to see a theme running back here, man. So this is a guy who's, I think, I was excited when he transferred over. Let me pull this up real quick. So this is his first season with Ohio State, was at Ole Miss with one of the other guys we reviewed, Trey Harris. But I was worried about how the workload would go. I think only 800 or so yards for Judkins in this most recent season on the ground rushing. It's one of those things where, they're just splitting that workload. So it is what it is. You might want to look at some of the older tape or just older stats, but look at that at the bottom, season grades all in that kind of like dark bluish or whatever. That means he's had really good seasons consistently, and it doesn't matter that he had another running back that was a high caliber running back. He still was able to produce. So at 6 foot 218, another big back, only 9 pounds less than the last guy we talked about. So
big boy.
Yeah, 1 to 74 carries, 924 yards. That's what it is, and 10 touchdowns there.
Why don't you go, Joe? I can go.
So gave me enough time to get the highlights up.
Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, I'll just get this out real fast, Dave. So what I have on him is really tough to bring down. You got to have multiple guys. The first guy is not going to get him. You see him just just rolling through the line there. Saw really great acceleration, to be honest, and really great catching ability out of the backfield. Again, a guy who needs work on his pass catching or his pass blocking, but not that he's not willing to do it. But as you mentioned, Alex, these guys on Ohio State also have a running back splitting situation, and we're going to talk about maybe the other guy later. But I would say that
talk about him in tandem, man. TreVeyon Henderson.
Yeah. I would say this is the college version of Sonic and Knuckles if you're looking at the Lions, because I got this guy sort of a Joe Mixon, Kareem Hunt, and then Henderson. I might as well go down that route and say that he's more of like a David Montgomery type as well. So that's why I get the Sonic and Knuckles. But he's the guy with good long speed as well. Change of direction, explosive, good balance. Not a bulldozer, but he can get some extra yardage after that first hit. Again, pass protection needs work.
Yeah, this is him, TreVeyon Henderson on screen now. Now go ahead.
Yeah.
Dave.
All right. So, I like TreVeyon Henderson a significantly larger chunk than I do Quinshon Judkins. I'll go back to Quinshon. Say he is big. His 440 if you Google is 449, so kind of in the average range there. I put that he glides through contact. He kind of looks like a surfer, kind of surfing into the guys and moving through and around them. But that's great, and it's awesome to see when he gets through. But I feel like sometimes he's running into contact a little too much for a guy who probably has the speed to run away. I don't know if that's a vision thing, or maybe I have a bad conception about how fast I think he is. I think with a little bit of coaching, he'll kind of gain some of that, because he does have good top end speed, has an 86-yard touchdown run. He runs away from people pretty well, but I feel like when things are clogged in the middle, he kind of gets sucked into that game and he ends up finding contact, although he does run through it quite a bit, more than you're going to be able to do at the NFL level. That's kind of, I guess, what the point is. So I would say he's not a number one back. You're going to.
And who's he? Judkins still?
Judkins. Okay. Going on Judkins. I would say he's not. I wouldn't want him to be my number one over somebody who was something like TreVeyon Henderson, my opinion. So TreVeyon Henderson, he's 5'10", he's 207, he's a little smaller, a little bit. But what I loved about this is that he does run away from people. This guy, like Quinshon has to deal with traffic, Henderson finds the lanes. Like, he finds wide open spots. His hips are always pointed towards the goalpost. He so quickly gets to north and south, and it's with a significant boost. It's pretty impressive to see, because if you look at the way his hips just barely move, he's moving so fast through the defense, and he ends up finding a way to be going straight down the field. He finds a way.
It almost looks like Gibbs there. Like we saw Gibbs still 4 touchdowns. He's low to the line.
He's a slasher, shifty, agile, gets to top speed quickly. His stiff arm has a lot of power. I think that's because he runs very forward leaning. And I think he has great vision. So what I would give maybe Quinshon maybe a B, I'd give TreVeyon an A in most every category. So I say, I want TreVeyon Henderson on my team more. I don't know where these guys are going to be drafted. PFF has them pretty close, with TreVeyon having the edge. But we're going to see these. I think the combine is going to slot some of these guys when the measurables pop up. Because TreVeyon, I googled what's TreVeyon's 40. There isn't really one that, like, he didn't quote. There's no quote from him. There's no quote from his coaches. So I don't know what he's going to run. But I would guess it's 4.4 or less, because he just pops off the screen. He's a very exciting player. Where Quinshon was exciting too, but Quinshon a B, this guy an A. Everything that Quinshon did on highlights, it felt like TreVeyon one-upped him. It was fun to watch. I hope the Longhorns are ready to figure something out, because obviously they're near and dear to my heart. I think they're going to have their hands full, obviously.
Yeah, he got a 90 grade. Judkins' highest grade was 88. So TreVeyon 90, both pretty good. And just for the audio listeners, again, TreVeyon Henderson, 5'10", whereas Quinshon Judkins 6 foot, and we'll see what's official height. As you pointed out last episode, but 207 pounds for TreVeyon Henderson. So Judkins got about 10 pounds on him. Yeah, man, I definitely agree with you, man. I do like Henderson because I want an explosive offense. I don't just want a goal line back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we need as far as some difference makers. That's why everyone wants Genty. We want a game changer, and we've seen like a Devon Chan type who can be a game changer in a different way, just by being super fast. And unless you're just a dominant thumper back, then I want some more of that speed with some durability. Hopefully, he can stay healthy, which Henderson did have some issues with very early on in his career, but has been healthy this past couple seasons.
You think about that Turpin coming on a jet sweep, or it's going to be handed to TreVeyon, and I think that's a recipe for success. I'd love to see that in action.
Yes, sir. All right, so we've hyped up Ohio State significantly. So, Jahdae Barron. All right, cornerback. That's the position where Cowboys fans did say we needed some help. All right, and so let's talk about it. He's 5'11", 200 pounds, 23 years old. Oldest, or I think Watts is also 23 actually, but yeah, for some reason the defensive player is a little bit older. Maybe process the game, and then you're just unbeatable at that point once you get that under your belt. But I mean, this guy, I think he had some hands. It's hard to really tell sometimes if they're in the right spot at the right time. But let me get his highlights up here real quick. But 42 solo tackles, 5 interceptions, 11 passes defended. What do you guys think about Jahdae Barron?
I mean, he's got so many. He makes so many big plays. If you count a pass breakup as a big play, he's made and like a big stop. Like if somebody gets the ball on a 3-yard pass, he's right there and sticks them. He may not have the best form tackling, but he's always got his nose in there. You got to respect him for that. The pass. Did you say 11 pass breakups?
Yeah.
And what, 5 picks or something?
Yeah, dude.
I mean, he was all over the place, and that's those are the type of stats that a lot of guys come out of college. They look great, but they don't have the big gaudy interception or pass breakup numbers. Well, Jahdae Barron's kind of got it all. He kind of came on his last half of the season. He really showed some leadership. Got a cat in the background there. What are you doing back there, Cheetah? But a lot of tip balls, creating turnovers for his team.
Boys.
Yeah, exactly. Tip boys all over the field. What else did I put about him? I don't want to just keep rambling. Let me go to my notes. Big, doesn't shy from contact, loves to break up the ball. Versatility. He lined up everywhere. He played left. He played right. He played nickel. He played some safety too. So he plays all over. He's constantly looking into the offense, and I think he's got a great instincts for when to break. Situational awareness. Always brings his man down. I feel like he's going to be a great zone guy. I don't know if he's going to be a great man guy. Again, I mean, the hardest thing to do is cover a 6'4", 4'3" wide receiver, and there are unfortunately quite a few of those in the NFL. So he may have trouble doing that like everyone else does. So he's not necessarily a burner. Might struggle against number ones is what I put at the NFL level. But I mean, everyone's going to. The rules are made so the offense has the advantage. This is the closest thing you can get to leveling the playing field. A real versatile player.
Yeah, he wears that number 7 pretty well. He was the Thorpe Award winner this year. Michael Huff was the last one for the Longhorns, wore number 7. Dave, I got to start out and piggyback off that versatility because, like you said, lined up everywhere, and that's like the number one thing that scouts are talking about is versatility. He can play a lot like Overshone did for the Longhorns, except at the linebacker position. He was able to drop back and line up pretty much wherever he wanted, play the slot, So let's just talk about that for a second because this guy could be a weapon, like no matter where you draft him. You could draft him at corner. He might end up playing safety. He might end up playing that sort of hybrid position. Well, who knows? But high motor, sure tackler, very smart, obviously. Great ball skills as well. And one of the bigger things is that he's able to defend against bigger guys. So you see him all the time doing the pass breakups against taller receivers. He's going to need that at the next level because guess what? All those dudes are pretty big. And if you're not able to do that, then you're not going to make it in that league. So let's just talk about.
He's got the swag too.
A little bit of just a couple of knocks, right? Maybe his long speed isn't as what you might like for a corner, and sometimes he hesitates on his breaks, which kind of gets him in trouble a little bit. But overall, that's about it. Like this guy is almost as complete coming out of college as you could hope for, which is why he won the Thorpe Award. So surefire in my estimation, and a guy that you might compare him to that is in the league these days, the Desmond King type. Baltimore.
All right, man. Well, good luck. We want him to get that W tomorrow. All right. So, hey, go get it done, man. We want to pick. Call in a pick for Barron tomorrow. Let's go.
That's right, man.
Okay, we got to keep it moving. All right, we got a tight 15 we got to get to here. Okay, so mock draft time, and
Let's do it
quickly.
Let's do it.
We're doing that trade. Be thinking, guys. We're now at the 12th pick. All right, so what are we?
Our highest picks in the last 3 weeks, Alex. We've done this our third go here, and we've gotten a better draft pick every time.
Creeping up. Yeah. All right. So
I'm with. Do you want to try to trade back? Do you want to try to? Let's see who's there, I guess, first. But
so
I think it might be interesting.
So we were talking about not the first messing with the first pick, but let's do it. So right now you've got
mess around and find out.
You can pick any team really.
Let's see how much we fall in love with the board. Who's going to be there?
All right. So right now the draft hasn't started. They give you your first option pre-pick. So you want to just go. Let's start this. Get to pick 12, and then we can see. All right, let's go. So far it is Shedeur Sanders at 1 to the Titans. Okay. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Tatari McMillan, Mason Graham, Abdul Carter, Will Johnson, Will Campbell, Malachi Starks, Luther Burden. Kelvin Banks.
Dang.
We both of them
Burden,
on the previous
Burden shot up since last week. Okay.
One of them he went at 9, I think, which I thought was wild. But Ginty is here. This is almost why we started this series, is to figure out, do we need to draft this guy? But he's been there the last draft for sure. We took him. So it's like, do we want to double down on Ginty?
Let's do something different. Let's
we
go back
reviewed Emeka Buka trade back.
Yeah, let's go back.
Let's look at the trades.
That's what we got.
So we got 3 offers. Arizona Cardinals.
I like 16.
Rams and Vikings are the other interested. So 16, 23, or 28. Let's start with the 16 here. So we would, and I wish I could make this little area bigger. I cannot. Don't worry about it. But so what are they?
Neither of those teams need a quarterback, so we know that nothing matters. But
so do we want to try to? Is 4 picks back enough to get a third? Probably not. But maybe try it to see if they'll send their 78.
It says it'll be accepted likely. 47 is unlikely. What if we add in, because last time we talked about just including the 2026 4, because we know they don't care about 4. That's close to 50.
That's what we did. That was our formula.
Is this not realistic? Traded 4 spots and get a second.
It's not realistic. That's for 4 picks in the middle.
So you're saying third. That's definitely likely. Let's just do it. F it.
Yeah.
So we get a third. The whole goal is get a third. So we're offering a trade.
And I think what we have a vision for, we have a vision for this pick will be a running back, right? And the extra pick
resume draft. They take Nick Skorton there. Ginty goes to unrealistically to this team, the Dolphins. Maybe with Monster leaving. Okay, I guess. Maybe if he's just that talent, you got to get him. Jalen Walker, Wyatt Milam. No one else that we, other than Ginty, got wiped off the board that we've reviewed. We almost reviewed Josh Simmons today.
We reviewed
and we definitely did Ibuka. All right, so Ibuka's not a bad pick here. We were going to review Morrison. He's also banged up.
Cam Williams. That's enticing.
So there's a lot of good players. So.
And I'll just quickly look at the trade. I don't really want to do another trade, but this will take us to 24.
See, if we can get a second for that, see if they'll. I doubt they will, but
Okay.
That'd be the only thing to do. Like, will they give us their 56?
24 and 56 for 16. So all right, let's just offer.
Let's
all
right,
do
it.
Well, we're doing it. So now we're.
Now we're real
because we're not forced to take Jinty anymore. Okay, so we were at 16. Whoa. They took Michael Williams. Emeka Buka goes right after that to the Bengals. Makes sense. They got rid of T. Higgins, Josh Simmons, then Kenneth Grant, Cameron Williams, Hookham, Benjamin Morrison, Colson Loveland, and Ursary. Here it goes. So I don't think we're trading back anymore, but we walk away with what, a third and a second out of that.
Yeah,
and we talked about Hampton last time too, I think, Alex, and
yeah,
that wasn't too bad of a pick.
So I would say BPA could potentially be Tyler Warren. We discussed holding off on that.
Oh, Pierce is there.
Oh, Pierce. Yeah,
Pierce is Jahdae Barron. Jahdae Barron. And Pierce.
Barron. I like Pierce more. And I can sort by category, but mainly I just want to double check at the receiver and running back spot. Because
Xavier Williams, 6'5".
Is there a flex spot here?
Yeah, we'll go look at the running back really quick. Okay,
I think Scatman's still there.
Target one of our third round picks for Henderson. Maybe we can get TreVeyon in the third.
So let's go. So Pierce, you guys think here?
Oh, I'm going Pierce.
Good. Yeah,
Pierce. So James Pierce Jr., welcome to the team. All right,
nice. We got a slasher, baby.
Hell yeah!
Wait, that's trading our draft. Oh no, it's supposed to be.
Did you just trade away all our draft picks?
No. It
was
totally
screwed
us. No.
Okay.
We're running it back. We're back, guys.
We're back.
That's
maybe just do 3 rounds.
That's kind of a classic.
We can get it quick.
Did you just do one round?
Yeah, that's what happened. We're back. We're back. Don't worry. So full draft. Yeah, we're
only
here.
One pick for everyone.
We did the Cardinals no longer available. Sorry, guys.
Well, let's see what we can get.
We'll do this Green Bay one again. So before it was 16 to 24 for their 56. Let's get that 88. There we go. And then we get our third back. And we just get it all from the Packers.
Yeah, dude. I like it.
All right. So that basically gets us back to exactly where we were. All right, sweet. Sorry about that, everybody. So we'll take James Pierce again. Okay. We got him. We got lucky there.
Okay, interesting. All right. Well, you reset the board. I appreciate that.
Watts.
There's Watts.
Okay, so Watts is here. I feel like we take him and then because we still have our.
We already said we're going to pass on Watts, so we just broke down Watts and we said we weren't going to take him in the second. So I don't think we can do that.
All right. Well, let's do.
I like some of these players. Damn shit.
I'll slow down in a second. I was trying to
Bond is up there.
Like Henderson later.
Yeah, let's look at I guess wide receiver. Yeah, let's look at wide receiver first because I think we haven't gone over these guys, but
Trey
I like
Harris.
Trey Harris.
I like the Utah State.
And I would say we have Royals. I say we have to take a receiver here though. You can get wiped out very easy.
So what about running back? Where we have to
and by the way, we're up in 12 picks. Also, we have 12 picks. We have another second round.
Yeah, I think receiver now, and then maybe running back next. And are we missing out on any O linemen right now?
Good call. At running back is Scattaboo, Dylan Sampson, who I love, Henderson.
Yeah, we got Trey. I like all three of those guys.
Patron Allen's good. He does declare. So we're getting running back.
Base point. Let's look.
Let me get running back out.
Oh, you can do multiple. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't know exactly how or what I'm doing. So O-line.
Yeah.
We get running back out for sure this time. Boom.
There you go.
I'm not familiar with these guys. All the guys I know are gone.
This is a deep cut right here.
Yeah, in general, historically, you need a first-round lineman if you want to go that route. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just a project. So let's go Trey Harris.
Yeah, I like Trey Harris here. Even over those guys, there's some good receivers there, but I just think Trey Harris.
And then we'll go
Cam.
And I don't think we can take Scattaboo after Dave's comments last week.
We took him last time, didn't we?
We took him last time, so
we took him. We took him late.
We'll go a different direction. But it's nice having 2 second round picks.
Is there no TreVeyon?
Yeah, he's here. I thought.
Oh, he's
no. Oh, let's check the
gone.
board.
Somebody snatched him.
Let's check the board.
Somebody snatched him.
Let's see. So Judkins at 31.
Judkins.
There's no way he went. Okay.
Henderson at 51 to the Texans.
Oh, dang! That's just a few
And
picks
Xavier
before
Watts
us.
to the Bengals for what it's worth. So that was in between.
That actually
between
makes
our
sense.
12 picks. So between our last pick, those are the guys who went. So
I like Dylan
Harris
Sampson.
might have
We
been
haven't
there.
reviewed him yet, but Dylan Sampson is pretty good
he's
too.
the best. He's BPA in my opinion.
Let's
Take him. He's like Alvin Kamara. Obviously, Kamara went to Tennessee, but he's like that.
I think this is how the draft is really going to go with Cam Scatterboo. Just
third round.
Yeah.
Ransom. I've heard he's good.
Do we have a trade
offer? I
offer?
haven't watched the tape yet.
Yeah, but
Saints
just trying to move 14 picks up.
That's
deny that. Deny that.
Yeah, we'll just move on. So
ignore them like we did the Bears for request to interview Mike.
Yeah,
and we could try to double tap a receiver, or double tap a running back. Let's look at our picks. Yeah, BPA.
I think we got to go. I would think a defense here.
Yeah.
More defense. I think more defense.
Let's just take this Ransom guy.
I've heard he's good. We need to do. We'll get there. We'll get to some of these guys.
Yeah.
Any more D-line help would be great.
Yeah.
Or linebacker. I mean, just more defense.
Darrell Jackson.
See, Carson Beck just declared today, so he just sent in there.
Oh, there's Singleton.
Singleton, yeah, that could be our thumper. Last time we were saying we need 2 backs, so we
ain't going back to back.
No, not here. And also, we took somebody
back to back.
Yeah, it was this third pick.
Bro, I'll take a flyer on Scatterboo in 2 more rounds. How about that?
Nah, I'm good with Scatterboo. You can do.
We'll take an edge Alabama player. Can't be too. He can't go wrong.
Scout that one, and then we'll so Katrin Allen
Nick
and Singleton BPAs.
Bro, we have to. Oh wait. What about the other Penn State running back?
He's still there.
He's ranked above him, dude.
he may not declare. Who knows?
He's not even the best player on his team, bro.
We're not going 3 running backs. So we got Singleton on here. We'll go Majors.
Majors, yeah.
Move BB over to guard maybe or something.
And remember,
like that.
we already had all of these 5th round picks. That's 4 5ths. So we'll go. We talked about linebacker was a need. So we can take this guy.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then another 5th to use on
another wide receiver if you can find one. Maybe
2
one
minutes on the clock here.
Yeah, right.
Who's?
Oh,
I'm looking.
I don't know.
There goes Joe Dirt.
Jimmy Horn Jr.
Your boy. We took him last time, Joe.
Yeah, we took him last time. That's all right.
No. We're
Shout
gonna
out
have
Bobcats.
we need to get T.
Lacey. Lacey's good.
Yeah, let's take him at tight end. I like that.
That's solid, Dave. We didn't even talk about tight end.
We took him in our first mock draft though.
Yeah, he's a comfort name.
Yeah, he used to be like the tight end one of the class, but this is a deep class. Okay, so just 2 picks. We'll just get some probably just another
funny quarterback to throw in there.
Let's draft a QB just for
sure. QB target here, like in the last half of this draft. Who's out there?
Okay,
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart. That's a quarterback name if I've ever heard one.
Throwing darts. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Take Katrin now.
Take Katrin now.
I think
he's not the good.
We'll
just take him. Close it out,
bro.
You can't leave him there for me at 210.
Good job, guys.
All right, fellas.
A+. Here we go.
Yeah, we'll do a quick look at this. I do have to just hit that. Boom, boom, save, copy. All right, now, yeah, that's looking pretty good. So Harris, they didn't like that pick. Sorry, real quick, got to do one more.
There was like 3 receivers over him there, but they better like the player, better recognize.
Yeah,
I like it.
Sweet. Well, appreciate you guys jumping in here and man, so many picks. I like that. So many guys we got to get rid of
grade
too.
for this?
A minus.
A minus. There we go.
Not 35%.
Maybe we'll try to trade up next time. We'll see if Tet drops to 8 or 9, throw a fourth and go up a few spots. Yeah. But anyway, I guess that's our time, right?
Yeah.
We know Jerry Jones is watching, so I hope he takes note
on his yacht.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Shout out to Jerry for that cameo though for Landman. He actually kind of crushed that one.
He did crush it.
Gotta say.
Yeah. I would go Marion Hampton, Thanos, Heisenberg for your fourth pick in the Dynasty Superflex, unless you meant not rookies. In that case, like I don't know, Hurts, Lamar Jackson, whatever. Anyway, fellas, this has been an awesome show, and yeah, we will catch you guys in the next one. All right.
Hook 'em.
Peace.
Write it, Joel. Write it.